So you see how they had to have her before she dies off. I think there's maybe some months or like a year, maybe about a year or some months. Basically at the end, tail end of the career of the Selena character, you see how they had to have her on up the carriage. And you see how Nipsey Hussle had to do the same thing, you know? Because like I was talking about that whole thing, and that, you know, they be worshiping their idol gods. So, you know, that Selena, you know, it all goes into like the moon goddess. But I'm gonna get into it later on in a minute, like how they really attacking, you know what I'm saying? So when you're doing with that horse, you know, in Revelation 19:11, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. So you see all of that stuff is all connected. You see? And they remember Nipsey Hussle has the Egyptian ties. You know what I mean? So all of that stuff is all connected. You know, there's no way around none of it, you know? Goes right to Egypt, dealing with the altars of the Lord. Remember I was showing about the stage cracking earlier, and about the altars, the rocks renting and shaking inside the altars when Yeshua was crucified. When Christ was crucified. So you see how they had to have that horse symbology. You know, blaspheming the one that sit upon the horse. You know? And you notice too, Selena was shot with a revolver, you know, shot in the shoulder with a revolver. Brandon Lee was shot with a revolver the same day, like, you know, March 31st. He was shot with a revolver. Selena was shot with a revolver. They even mentioned how Nipsey Hussle, there's how he was shot with a semi-automatic, and they even had to mention about a revolver. You see what I'm saying? They even talked about how it was a semi-automatic gun, and he was 33 years old too. And then a revolver, you see? Because when you understand that revolver is super high level, it's super wicked, because when you understand how all that goes to that circle, like I was talking about that, the circle of life, and then you have, you know, which bullet gonna end up in the chamber to kill, you know? It all just goes to blasphemy of the altars. As it's written in that day, there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, and there should be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts. So that's why they be making people, you know, play the Russian roulette, and they end up, you know, taking their own lives, you know? You see how all that goes when you put that, which bullet would a bullet be in the chamber when you pull the trigger, you know, dealing with the king's chamber of the Lord, you know? That's how wicked they are. So like I was saying about the mother goddess, you know, the whole thing with the Luna, the Selena, the Selene mother goddess that they used to worship in the mythologies. But anyway, it all goes into the whole aspect of the Catholicism, which I'm going to get into later on, you know, with the Mother Mary worship, the Helen of Mary, the Mother Babylon symbology. You know, it's all associated with the moon. You know, that's why Islam, which was all branched out of Catholicism, that's why they have the moon on their flag, you know what I mean? It's all the Mother Goddess worship, because the moon is the lesser light, but they want to use that to eclipse the Son of God. You know, that's why you got the group Pusha T and Malice. You know, Malice just goes into that rebellion and hatred against heaven, the rebellion against the Lord. And then that Pusha T, you know, they want to shake the altars. You know, they don't want the Messiah to stand on top of the altar with his 144,000 on 144,000 casing stones of the pyramids. You see, they want to push the T, they want to shake the altar, you know.